I'm a little late on this one. Let's recap AEW Dynamite that happened on April 22nd, so 2 days ago. The show started with MJF basically coming out, complaining about his loss to Darby Allin, saying it was a Seattle screw job and that, you know, he's still the best in the world and etc. and blabbing on. But what was really cool about this segment is that the Jet, Kevin Knight, came out when MJF was essentially saying Darby should just give him back the championship. After the back and forth between the Jet and MJF, it basically looked like we were going to get a TNT championship match really right there and then. However, MJF rolled out of the ring and basically said that he would go and beat him up next week. So it looks like next week we are going to get MJF versus Kevin Knight for the TNT championship. Following that, you had Brody King versus Lio Rush. That match did have a bit of back and forth. Like, Lio was able to basically hurt Brody's arm. I just like watching Lio because he basically reminds me of Gollum from Lord of the Rings. I think most of us, right? So when I watch that, I always find it entertaining, but that's about as far as I'll go with that match because other than that, it was just basically Brody King all the way. Adam Copeland then had a promo, and I really like this one. Basically, the stakes are going to be very high at Double or Nothing because Adam Copeland and Christians are putting careers as a team on the line against FTR. If Adam and Christian cannot be FTR, they will break up and retire as a team, and they don't get the tag team championships either. So it's going to be interesting. I want to say that maybe Adam and Christian will win this because I can see AEW maybe wanting to give them the titles. Following that, it was Hikaru Shida versus Mina Shikarawa. That was a quick action match, a lot of back and forth. There was definitely some high spots on the apron. I don't have much to say about this match. The action was great. The apron spot was probably my favorite. And then shortly after that, the match was over and Hikaru defeated Mina. The match after this one, though, was definitely a banger. You had Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. Both men came really close to winning it multiple times. In the end, though, Mark did end up hurting Will Ospreay on the apron, and the match was stopped by doctors, making Mark the winner. But what was more interesting was after the match, it looked like Mark was going to attack Will Ospreay, and then basically the Death Riders came out, and we weren't sure where this was going to go. They ended up abducting him, so we're going to have to see where this leads. But, you know, I think this is going to be an interesting. The crowd seemed to love it. I loved it. The match itself, probably one of my favorites other than the main event for that evening. So I think it was a great match. Definitely worth going back to watch it. After that, Samoa Joe returned and essentially squashed Cody Chun. There's not much more to say other than welcome back, Samoa Joe, and always great to see Joe. We then proceeded into the main event, Darby Allin versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, obviously, MJF did come out right before this match asking for his title back. Darby Allin said he wasn't going to have any of it. He just wanted his match. So Tommaso Ciampa came out, gave MJF a little bit of a smooch on the cheek there. And then the match proceeded. It was definitely a very violent match. There was a lot of high spots. There was a part where Darby Allin jumped from the top turnbuckle to Tommaso on the outside and basically put him through a table. There was a lot of suicide dives, a lot of definitely high spots. In the end, Darby Allin did win it with a Scorpion Deathlock. Both men very exhausted, very beat up, very violent at the very end. When it was all said and done and the bell rang, Brody King then came out and basically said that next week we are going to get Darby versus Brody for the championship. Darby did retain this week, but is he going to be able to retain against Brody next week? Anyways, that is all for your AEW Dynamite recap this week. Put it in the comments down below. Let me know which match you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow along for some more wrestling news and content.